The American College of Pediatricians is coming out with a new position statement on the long-term effects of puberty blockers and cross-sex hormones on the well-being of adolescents with gender dysphoria. The report found that these treatments had no lasting benefit for adolescents. The study also urges medical professionals and parents to address the underlying mental illness, adverse events, and family dysfunction that often precede gender dysphoria. And here to explain more is Dr. Jane Anderson, the Vice President of the American College of Pediatricians. Dr. Anderson, thanks so much for coming on. We appreciate it. A lot to unpack here. But first, tell us why your organization felt the need to come out with this position paper.
Well, so many parents are being told of gender dysphoric children that they must go along with medical and surgical interventions, otherwise their child will commit suicide. And what we did was evaluate over 60 articles in the scientific literature to show that this was not true at all. There is no evidence that either social affirmation using the correct pronoun or allowing the child to change their hairstyle or the medical interventions such as puberty blockers and cross-sex hormones, nor surgical interventions affect the mental health of the adolescent. And in fact, the only long-term studies are actually in adults, and from Sweden, which is a very socially affirming culture, they found that those who had transitioned actually had a suicide rate markedly higher. In one study, up to 19-fold higher in those who had transitioned. So we are not helping our children and adolescents by providing them with, in a sense, affirmation of a delusion.
Doctor, I'm going to jump off of that, what you mentioned about Sweden. Of course, Sweden was sort of a pioneer, if you want to call that, the first country in the world to legalize gender transition back in 1972. And they, have pumped the brakes on this so-called gender-affirming care for young people. So why do you think the U.S. isn't following Sweden's recommendations when clearly they have more data on this than we do?
You're absolutely right. And it's not just Sweden. It's Denmark, it's Finland, it's Great Britain, it's France, and most recently, Alberta, Canada, are looking at the research, looking at the scientific research and saying, we have no evidence that this is helpful. And we so wish that we could see the same results in our country. But unfortunately, there's, I think, a political agenda, but it's harming our children and adolescents.
We have about a minute or so left, Dr. Anderson, but can you talk to us about the relationship between certain mental disorders, such say as autism or ADHD, and gender dysphoria?
Yes, there is a markedly increased incidence of those adolescents who have a history of any kind of mental illness, depression, anxiety, suicidal ideation, those who also might have, unfortunately, suffer from autism, and then especially those who have suffered adverse childhood events in their childhood. All those categories of children and adolescents are at a much greater risk for experiencing gender dysphoria. And all those are amenable to mental health treatments, and that's where our focus should be.
And we're going to leave it right there. Dr. Jane Anderson, thank you so much for coming on and for your insights. We appreciate it. God bless.
Thank you for having me.